Now, the second thing I suggest is to make sure you have a hobby. I cannot stress this enough because I 100% agree. There are times when you are going to work weekends, you're going to work nights. But for the most like that's the exception, it's not the norm. And if you don't have a hobby to take your mind off of work, family, relationships, like you will get to burnout much quicker. This hobby needs to be something that helps you relax and takes your mind off of many things. Welcome to the Legalpreneur podcast. I'm your host, Andrea Sager, founder and CEO of Legalpreneur Inc. As a serial entrepreneur and someone that works exclusively with small business owners legally protecting their business, I'm dedicated to covering common legal issues faced by business owners, providing you with the business knowledge you need to catapult your business's growth and showing you just how some of the world's most elite entrepreneurs have handled these legal and business issues themselves. In true attorney fashion, the information in this episode is not legal advice. This is for informational purposes only, and you should always consult with your attorney before implementing any of the information in the show. Hello there. Welcome back to another episode of the Legalpreneur podcast. I'm really excited for today's episode because we're talking about burnout, and this is something that has been very relevant to my life lately. I have been feeling like I've been getting burnt out, and not I'll get into more detail, but basically this episode's going to be about how I avoid burnout. Because I have felt myself slowly kind of getting there, and so I have wanted to be very intentional about stopping it. And so I'm going to share with you what I've been doing. But first, we are about to have an affiliate only launch, and we are looking for more affiliates. If you have an audience of business owners, small business owners, people that need legal protection, this is perfect for you. All you got to do is shoot me an email, or you can go to thelegalpreneur.com, scroll to the bottom, and sign up as an affiliate. We will share all the details with you. And basically, this is going to be a backdoor launch of the trademark course. So we're not going to be publicly sharing it. We're going to have basically plenty of opportunities for the affiliates to earn extra money. It's going to be a higher affiliate commission than normal. So great opportunity. And we're going to be having some prizes. So there will be a little affiliate competition to earn even more money than just your affiliate payout. So if you are interested, shoot me an email. The link, it's right there in the show notes, andrea@andreasager.com, or you can sign up at thelegalpreneur.com and get all the info. Okay, so burnout. I have been feeling kind of burnt out. You heard my interview this week because we've been struggling, and we're not on the verge of going out of business, but it's like, I just feel like I've been climbing up this hill for so long, and it doesn't feel like we're getting anywhere. It feels like I'm climbing up, but not going anywhere, literally staying in the same spot. However, I know that's not true. I had some very amazing friends help me put everything into perspective, but coming to that, I realized, okay, maybe I'm just, kind of feeling burnt out. And I think it's important to recognize when you get to that point, because I think everybody gets to that point eventually where you're like, do I want to keep doing this? Am I doing too much? Am I working too much? And in order to avoid just one day throwing your hands up and saying, F this, I'm done, you need to be making sure you are taking measures to prevent burnout. And so I'm going to share with you what I do. Number one, take breaks. Like, don't be afraid to stop working in the middle of the day. Sometimes I have canceled client calls because I'm just like, I'm not in the mental space to do this. I don't do that. I haven't actually canceled a client call in a very long time for that. But I have done it. But mostly what I'm talking about is, I planned on having like a full work day to go do this or that, or to, get X, Y, and Z done. But if I recognize that, hey, I'm actually not being very productive because mentally I'm not here, just go do something. And sometimes I will just go for a walk. A lot of times I will go for a walk and walk until I feel better. I actually can't do that right now. You guys, this week I went to CrossFit and I rolled my freaking ankle. And on this ankle, I've already had surgery, like literally tore everything in this ankle, and I rolled it and I was like, oh no, that was not good. So I'm in a lot of pain. So I won't be walking this week, but that's what has worked for me in the past is just, hey, okay, I need to take a break. I need to step away, just go for a walk. And you don't have to do anything productive on the walk. Like, you don't have to listen to books. You don't have to like think about your thoughts. Normally that's what comes up for me. I'm just like, okay, let's process this. And that's it, it works for me, but that doesn't always work for everyone. So just do what works for you. Maybe a walk is the worst thing in the world for you. Maybe you just want to go work out, or maybe you just want to sit and be in silence. Maybe you want to go to the mall. Like, whatever you enjoy doing, like, go do that. Whatever brings you peace, go do that, because ultimately you want to make sure that you are keeping peace internally. Because once, like, when we get to the place of burnout, it's because there's too much going on inside. For me, I notice when there's like too much going on in my brain, I just feel like I'm spinning my wheels and not being productive. Now, the second thing I suggest is to make sure you have a hobby. I cannot stress this enough, because I 100% agree. There are times when you are going to work weekends, you're going to work nights. But for the most, like, that's the exception, it's not the norm. And if you don't have a hobby to take your mind off of work, family, relationships, like, you will get to burnout much quicker. This hobby needs to be something that helps you relax and takes your mind off of many things. This can be painting, this can be drawing, this can be shopping, this can be podcasting, creating videos, like whatever you do. Like, my hobby, if you don't follow me on social media, you may not know this, but my hobby is poker. I love playing poker. And I used to own a poker club. So at one point it was not a hobby. And that's part of the reason why I wanted to sell the club. So I did. And luckily it's now a hobby again. But it's something that I enjoy, I get to unplug from the rest of the world, and that's just my zone. Like, that is my zone, you guys, playing poker. So I suggest finding what is your zone, because I know, like, if I'm not working or if I don't have my kids, I'm probably playing poker most of the time. Like, the last weekend, I played a lot of poker. I actually didn't play for like 2 weeks, and I went and played two different tournaments on Saturday, and I made money in both of them, which is really cool. Something I'd never done before in one weekend. Um, but find a hobby. I If you don't know how to play poker and you're interested in learning, I would highly suggest learning how to play poker. It has resulted in many opportunities. I don't know. I love poker, and I have a poker night coming up. I will actually, so this is coming out, this will be out Friday. So last night I had a poker night in Austin. If you go follow my Instagram stories, because I know I will post about it on stories, and it'll still be up if you're listening to this on Friday. But basically, I had this opportunity. So the NetSuite accelerator that we're in, the guy running it, George, he said, "Hey, there's a poker night. I know you play poker. Would you be interested in coming?" And it's all like founders and investors. I was like, absolutely. And so I'm speaking in Chicago. This comes out Friday morning. Yesterday, Thursday morning, and Friday morning today, I speak in Chicago. Well, yesterday after my speech, I went to the airport, got on a flight, and went to Austin and played poker all night. Next morning, to this morning, got on a flight back to Chicago at 6 a.m. to be in Chicago at 9 a.m. to speak at 10:15 a.m. So that's my life. Now, I just said I wasn't walking. Hopefully I don't have to do any running through the airport, because with my ankle right now, not going to go over very well. Make sure to keep up on stories with my travels this week. Oh my gosh. It's been pretty crazy. But nevertheless, poker. It's a great hobby. Number one, I get to make money. And how I disclosed this week, I haven't really paid myself in over a year, probably like a year and a half. And that's how I'm making money. Like, I had savings. I pretty much ran through that. And now poker is pretty much how I'm making money, just because still building everything with Legalpreneur, we're not profitable, and everybody's getting paid except for me. And I'm like, I'm fine because I have poker. So yeah, poker, that's my hobby. So find a hobby and make sure you have time to completely unwind and go play your hobby. Go do your hobby. You don't have to play it. And number 3, to avoid burnout, be very intentional with your time. And what I mean by this is only do what only you can do. And I've talked about this on the podcast, but your time as a business owner is so freaking valuable. And there's only so much time in the day. And so you have to make sure that you are only doing the things that only you and nobody else can do. If somebody else can do that task, hire it out. Because if you're doing these mundane tasks, these things that somebody else can be doing, you're going to get burnt out so much quicker. And in order to move the needle in business, you have to make sure that you are being very intentional with your time and that you are doing things that nobody else can do. And that's why you are the one doing them. Because if somebody else can do them, then you should hire it out. So if you're not sure what you should be doing or what you should be hiring out, make a list throughout the day of everything that you're doing. Do you like to do it? Can somebody else be doing this? Make that list. Make that list. And once you realize, okay, these are all these tasks that I can hire somebody else to do, then go find somebody. I've talked about hiring on here, especially hiring an assistant. It's probably the list that you've created. It's probably things that an assistant can do. And if you need to find an overseas assistant for even less money, go do that. It may take some trial and error, but once you get it cranked out, a well-oiled machine, you will be, it'll be crazy how fast you see things grow. Because if you feel stuck, you're probably stuck because you are not hiring and you're doing things that somebody else should be doing. Okay, you guys, I know there's a lot of things that you can do to avoid burnout. That is my take. Those are my 3 things that I suggest in order to avoid burnout. I'm very intentional with all 3 of these. I very much try to be very intentional with my time. I obviously have my hobby of poker, and I take breaks. I go for walks in the middle of the day. I also will just actually take a lunch break. I didn't do that for a long time. I would just let me crank this out. Let me do this work. Let me do that work. But you really do need a break. And that's what I realized. I was I actually do need a break in the middle of the day. So I'll stop working. And since I'm here at home with my parents, sometimes I'll just have lunch with them, or I'll just scroll through TikTok, or just watch TV for an hour. But I do actually take a break. So don't be afraid to take a break. You've got to recharge. You can't get yourself to the point of burnout, because that's not good for anybody. All right, that's all I got for you this week. If you want to be an affiliate for our affiliate only launch, email me or go to the legalpreneur.com, go to the very bottom and become an affiliate. We'll get you all the info. That is coming up pretty quickly, so don't wait. Get in on that now. And I'll see you guys next week. Here at Legalpreneur, we're committed to providing a supportive legal community for all business owners. I know how scary the legal stuff can be. If you found this information helpful, I would be so grateful if you could share it with a fellow business owner. And quite frankly, it doesn't cost anything to rate, review, or subscribe to the show. Your support helps me reach more listeners, which allows me to support more business owners in their entrepreneurial journey. Have any questions or comments about the show? Feel free to drop me a line on Instagram. I promise I read all of the messages and comments. And if you want to be a guest on the show or know someone that would make a great guest, simply fill out our application form and a team member will reach out if we think it's a good fit. I'll see you in the next episode.